Hello, grade 5 math students. This is chapter 9.1, multiplying decimals. In this lesson, we're going to learn to multiply tenths and hundredths by a single-digit whole number. Let's begin. I'm going to show you 3 different methods for multiplying a tenth by a whole number. Let's begin with method 1, using 0.2 or 2 tenths times 4. Method 1 uses the number line. To use the number line to multiply 2 tenths by 4, we're simply going to begin at 0 and move 2 tenths for each step. So we're going to take 4 steps of 2 tenths. Beginning at 0, we'll go to 2 tenths. We'll go another 2 tenths to 4 tenths. We'll go another 2 tenths to 6 tenths. And we'll make our last jump from 6 tenths to 8 tenths. Therefore, our answer is, if we take 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 plus 0.2, which is exactly what we're doing with our number line, our answer is 0.8, or 8 tenths. We can also see that just by reading it on the number line where we landed. Now let's go on to method 2. Method 2 uses a place value chart. This is easier to use when you're multiplying really large numbers because it helps you to visualize exactly where your quantities are landing in your place value chart. So here we have a drawing with our 2 tenths marked 4 times. We can see that we add them all together to create 8 tenths in this box, giving us a final answer of 0.8 or 8 tenths. Finally, method 3 uses traditional multiplication as you've seen it used before. We're simply going to set up our problem vertically, 2 tenths times 4. Even though the 2 tenths is a smaller quantity than the 4, because it has more digits, we're going to put it on top. Now we simply multiply as we normally would. 4 times 2 gives us 8. 4 times 0 gives us 0. Now we simply drop the decimal point down and place it here. When multiplying tenths by a whole number, the decimal point in the product will be directly below the decimal point in the factor. That is not always going to work when multiplying decimals, but in this case, it does. The other pattern I want you to notice is that we have 1 digit behind the decimal point in our factors, and we have 1 digit behind the decimal point in our product. So the other thing you can do is simply count the number of digits that you have in your factors that are behind the decimal point, then go all the way to the right of your number, count back, and put in your decimal point in your product. Now let's work through an example where we're going to multiply a decimal with 1 decimal place by a whole number. We're going to multiply 2.4 by 3. We're starting with method 2, simply for ease, as this would require quite a long number line for method 1. So let's see, we have drawn our quantities here, 2 ones and 4 tenths. We've drawn that 3 times. Now we're going to multiply our tenths by 3, or add all of our tenths together, which gives us 12 tenths. Now we need to regroup our tenths, meaning we have 10 tenths, so that makes an additional 1. So we're going to move those over and add those to the tenths column, or excuse me, the ones column. Now we add all of our ones together. We have 2, 4, 6, our additional 1 that we've regrouped, 7. And here is our final answer, 7.2 or 7 2 tenths. Now let's complete this problem using method 3. So we'll set up a long form multiplication problem that looks like this, 2.4 times 3. Now we multiply as we normally would. Multiply ones by tenths. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry our 1. Now we'll multiply ones by ones. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. We drop our decimal point down, and our answer is 7.2. Now try completing these 6 practice problems on your own. You may use any of the methods that you prefer, whichever works best for your brain. Press pause while you work, and there'll be more problems to come when you're finished. Now let's practice multiplying hundredths by a whole number. Karen bought 3 apples for 45 cents each. How much did she pay in all? So we're going to solve 45 cents times 3. Method 2 is on the screen for you, and I'm going to go ahead and do method 3 right next to it, and you can follow along with both. So we're going to begin by multiplying the hundredths by 3. So 3 times 5 will give us 15. Carry our 1. If you're following along on the method 2 chart, that means we've added these 3 together to get 15, and we've regrouped. Okay. Next, we'll multiply our tenths by 3. 3 times 4 gives us 12, plus 1 gives us 13. Put down the 3 and carry our 1. Again, if you're following along over here, we've now added our 4s together, and we've included our carried hundredths to give us 3. Finally, let's take our multiply our whole number by 3. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Last thing we do, drop down our decimal point to give us 1.35, or 1 35 tenths. And finally, don't forget your dollar sign on your answer, because we're talking about 3 times 45 cents. So our answer is actually $1.35. Let's work through another sample. In this example, we're going to multiply decimals with 2 decimal places by a whole number. So Marcus bought 3 DVDs for $15.45 each. How much did he pay in all? All right, so we bought 3 for $15.45 each. So step 1, we'll multiply the hundredths by 3. 3 times 5 gives us 15. Put down our 5, carry our 1. Step 2, we'll multiply the tenths by 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Add our 1. That gives us 13. Put down our 3, carry our 1. Now we'll take our 1s by 3. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Place down our 6, regroup or carry our 1. Finally, 3 times the tens place will give us 3, plus 1 equals 4. All right, now we want to drop down our decimal point, which will go right here, and our final answer is $46.35. The other way to work with the decimal point here, if you're worried about dropping it down not being quite the right answer, we can also count the number of digits behind the decimal point. So in 1545 and 3, we have 1, 2 digits that are after the decimal point. So we go down to our product, we go all the way to the right, and then we would count back that number of digits, 1, 2, and our decimal place would go there. Let's try some practice problems. I have quite a few practice problems for you to try here as you learn this new skill. On this screen, we have 7 through 14. Please press pause while you work on solving each of these, and there'll be another page right after. And here are your final practice problems for 9.1. For problems 15 through 17, just go ahead and solve, please. For problems 18 through 23, first write the problems in vertical form, then multiply them. Don't forget to include the units in your answer. So the units would be $1 or centimeters, kilograms, meters, liters, or dollars. Good luck. Not that you need it because you have skill on your side. When I see you tomorrow, we'll do more work on multiplying decimals. Have a great night.